everyone. I'm 10 Tampa Bay meteorologist Colleen Campbell. It's 4:30, so you know what that means. It's time for Weather Impact Live. We're going to be talking about this morning's cold, what to expect for this weekend, and take a look at some weather across the country. So let's start off with our very frigid Friday morning. Look at this. We have our temperatures listed, the actual temperature that we had, the lowest minimum temperature, I should say. And then we also have the record. So let's take this big and full because there's a lot of numbers to break down here. So these are the record numbers for January 16th for this date. And I bring this up and I want to specify that because I have another graphic and I don't want anybody to get confused. So on the left hand of your screen there, you see all the locations with the previous records listed. A lot of these records dating back to the 20s, some of them from 1978, like Ruskin. Lakeland, 1982. So that's all for January 16th, the coldest minimum temperature, the temperature that we hit usually around sunrise. And we came close, but we didn't make any records for today. So on the right side of your screen is the actual minimum, our morning low temperature that we got today. And all the locations coming close, but Brooksville just missed that record dating back to 1927. For January 16th of that record low, 22 degrees, just missed it by 1 degree. See, the actual temperature was 23 degrees this morning, so not even a tie there. Sarasota was about 10 degrees. I don't even want to say warmer because it's still not very warm, but from that record temperature of 26 back in 1927. Tampa, also you can see Tampa, that record 1927 of 28 degrees. And our temperature was around 40. Usually it is a little bit milder for the city. But yeah, these are cold temperatures anywhere you slice it. Just because we didn't make a record doesn't mean that it wasn't actually cold. In fact, it was the coldest that it was in 3 years. So you're probably saying, well, Colleen, how does that work? Well, for a record temperature to be a record, it has to match the date. But since it didn't match today's date, that doesn't mean that we haven't seen the cold or felt the coldest temperatures in the last 3 years. It's just that it didn't line up on today's specific date. So Brooksville, for example, again, they just missed that record for today's date by 1 degree. But the last time that we were 23 degrees was back last year, January 25th, 2025. In fact, a lot of these temperatures we hit last year. Some of them date back a little bit later. You could see Winter Haven this morning was 34 degrees, and the last time that we were quite that cold was comparable to 31 degrees set back December 25th, 2022. So a lot of numbers to crunch there, but, you know, just remember, just because we have cold temperatures doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the climate. Think of the climate as you know, your personality, whereas a record temperature or how the weather is for that day is how you're feeling for the day. That's a nice way to look at, because, you know, there's always somebody that wants to talk about climate change and tie in things like this. And the two just don't really go hand in hand. Now, if you see a consistent, say we had colder days consistently throughout the month, and we, you know, managed to have the coldest year on record, well, then we could say, okay, well, you know, the climate was changing. But that wasn't the case. This was just a one-day kind of event. All right, temperatures right now in Hillsborough and Pinellas County. You can see we are in the mid to upper 50s. Let's expand the picture a little bit. By the way, the Gulf temperature is at 65, so you're actually better off in the water there because it's milder than temperatures are on land. As we look at those interior locations, however, not too far off from how the Gulf's feeling. We're at 63 in Frostproof, Sebring's at 61, Arcadia 63. Now, the locations over land will actually cool down faster than the locations closer to the water. That's why this morning, when we had those freeze warnings, we did not have a freeze warning for Pinellas County, Sarasota County, Manatee County, at least portions of that were closer to the coast, because the influence of the Gulf temperature helping out those locations where, even though they were cold, they weren't quite freezing cold. But the interior locations that weren't near the influence of water, well, they had that radiational cooling, which is when we have clear skies, calm conditions, light winds, and that's when temperatures really plummet. All the heating that we gain throughout the day radiates back into the atmosphere. All right, so 24-hour temperature change. Woo-hoo-hoo, look at this. We are sitting 5 to 7 degrees warmer, especially across those interior locations, than this time yesterday. So we did manage to thaw out with the sunshine that we received. Yes, those temperatures that are in the 60s and the 50s right now are still well below average. Usually in the afternoon, we're around 71 is a good number for Tampa. Of course, some areas, it varies on your area, but generally we'll say the low 70s for this time of the year in the afternoon. So we are sitting about 10 degrees below average, but we had that nice little warm up in the afternoon. Still some coolness to the air, but not quite as cold as it was this time yesterday. Also, speaking of yesterday, we had some very gusty winds. We have been talking about the duck, the blow-up duck that was over at Clearwater Beach. And it's a good thing that they took that down. That was a smart move because look at those winds. Over in Clearwater, they had winds. That's actually by Pye Airport where that data is coming in from. A 52-mile-per-hour gust. Yeah, that duck would have been flying away. And ducks really don't fly far, but that one would have been flying far, right, with those winds. The wind gusts across the rest of the area, again, these are the top recorded gusts that we had yesterday. 41 miles per hour over by the Tampa International Airport. Sarasota, close to Sarasota Bradenton Airport, 41 degrees. Winter Haven, 41 degrees, 41 miles per hour. We're talking gusts. Winter Haven, 42 mile per hour gusts, and Brooksville, 45 mile per hour gusts. Guys, that's tropical storm force winds. Of course, it's not a tropical system, but something to compare it to. All right, winds right now are much, much lighter. We still have that cool breeze out there, but the breeze is coming more so from the east. Yesterday, it was coming in from the northwest, really delivering that cold, frigid shot of air. So, yeah, things have improved, but as we move into tonight, temperatures will have the opportunity to fall once again. Also, our marine conditions have improved greatly thanks to those winds lightening up. If you joined us yesterday over at Clearwater Beach, I mean, it was extremely choppy. And now it's looking a little calmer. The seas are still between 2 to 3 feet, but we have a lighter chop. We no longer have that small craft advisory that was in effect, and just better boating conditions all around. So if you're waiting to take out the boat, now you have the green light today and tomorrow, too. Tomorrow is going to be awesome boating weather. Yeah, it will be a little bit chilly out there, but who doesn't love a boat ride? It's sunny, you know, and just bring a sweatshirt and you'll be okay. So that's why we're in Florida, after all, because we enjoy living by the water. At least most of us do, until it comes to hurricane season, then we don't love it so much. All right, so for today, again, we managed to top out in those upper 50s for Tampa. Some areas we just saw across our interior locations did get to the 60s, still well below average. And a little sneak peek of the weekend here. Tomorrow will still start off chilly, not issuing a weather impact alert because not quite as cold with those 20 and 30 degree marks that we started off our morning with, but mid 40s, that's still on the crisp side. So keep the jackets around, you're going to need it. Tomorrow afternoon, however, you can just ditch the jacket, put it in the passenger seat. Don't put it far because we are looking at another cold shot of air arriving by Monday, and we're going to dive into that detail a little bit more through the show here. But check out Sunday. Sunday we have some better marks, 54 for the morning and then 64 for the afternoon. So the morning starts off milder, the afternoon starts to cool down, and that's because we have some rain. Really, that rain right now looking like it will move through late Saturday night into early Sunday, similar to the pattern that we had earlier this week. So 40% chance of showers there. Again, not many of us are going to see a lot of that rain because it will be in the overnight hours Saturday into Sunday. But hey, we'll take what we can get because it's been sitting very dry lately. Even though we had the recent rain, that's not reflected in this drought monitor. Subtle changes here in the drought monitor. Actually looks like that didn't, that's last week's version. It looks like it updated to this week, but I can tell you, I was just checking this out on my personal computer, and yeah, the changes aren't that grand. Actually, we're seeing worsening conditions, so yeah, we had that little bit of rain, but it's not going to be reflected in this week's drought monitor. It would come next week. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then after that, we're going to check out some weather from across the nation. Stay tuned.
Before hurricane season hits, it's time to prep your home. Familiarize yourself with where your water shutoff valve is located. If backflow prevention devices are installed, get them tested annually.
Those are some great tips, and Cool Today is here to help you weather the storm. For over 60 years, we've been here to help Floridians with their cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs. We can help you prepare, protect, and repair your home. Call 888-40-TODAY.
I was driving when a Ford pickup truck barreled into me from behind, sending me to the hospital.
I knew my husband was going to need an excellent attorney, so I called Dan Newland.
I'm so glad my wife called Dan. Dan really fought for me. He won my case and got me $650,000.
If you've been involved in a car accident, allow me to fight for you. Call me now at 813-888-8000.
Thanks, Dan, for winning my husband's case.
This autumn, give your home the upgrade it deserves. Save up to 20% during California Closet's Autumn Upgrade event, making it easier than ever to transform your space with our select finishes. Whether it's a walk-in closet, home office, pantry, or garage, our designs are about more than organization. They're about creating space for what belongs. We call it practical magic, expert design that feels effortless. Visit one of our 3 Tampa Bay showrooms or schedule your complimentary consultation today at CaliforniaClosetsTampaBay.com.
Windows are created and installed with different levels of quality. Unique quality that can withstand the tropical climate. Our installers only install PGT custom windows and doors, so we are the go-to experts. Don't take my word for it. We have been named Best of Tampa Bay 3 years in a row, Reader's Choice in Sarasota 3 years in a row, and nationally recognized as Window and Door Dealer of the Year. Price is what you pay, but value is what you get. Give WeatherTight Windows a call today, and don't forget the cookies.
All right, welcome back. So we are taking a look across the nation now, and you can see they have a pretty potent low pressure system out there closer to the Great Lakes that's producing snow. This is not their first go around with snow across the north. Actually, I put something on my Facebook page about our cold temperatures here locally, and the northerners were laughing at us. But hey, it was cold. It was cold for us. So, you know, we're justified in, you know, feeling cold. So, but anyway, getting back to up north, they've had some snow in New York and Pennsylvania. Actually, the snow's still ongoing for portions of northern Pennsylvania, especially the higher elevations, portions of New York as well. That lake effect snow, once it gets going, man, it is like a machine. And I want to show you some of the temperatures up there too, because it is, you can imagine, we're talking cold, but their level of cold is way different than ours, of course. So yeah, if you're here visiting from the north, don't laugh at us. But yeah, we have temperatures that are in the 20s. So hey, it's comparable to how we felt this morning. Of course, that's their afternoon temperature, so you can imagine how cold it is in the morning if at 4 or 5 o'clock they're sitting in the 20s. But we also have some temperatures in the teens as you get closer to the Great Lakes. And North Dakota, they're always very, very cold. They have a single-digit temperature right now. All right, so we have some video of a pileup. I believe, Sam, this is the first video from Pennsylvania. Okay, yeah, so this is Mercer County, and which is around central Pennsylvania, and they had whiteout conditions there. Oh, that's just heartbreaking to see. And I mean, once one vehicle goes, that's it. And those semi trucks, we were talking about this yesterday and the day before, very hard to stop. Which is obvious. You would think that people would consider that. But, you know, unfortunately, with those conditions, once those trucks, they just fishtail, and it becomes a very dangerous situation. Yeah, so some footage there. And then there was also another pileup in New York. Ooh, this one doesn't look much better. Yeah, so those slick conditions, it's not so much the snow. If you have snow and, you know, you have good traction out there, you're taking it slow. But the ice, that will get you. And of course, the ice, and take it from a girl that was raised in the Northeast, the ice at night and in the morning, very hard to see. And then if you have that snow on top of ice, I mean, that's just really creating some slick conditions. But if you get snow initially and the ice hasn't settled yet, it's not so bad. But yeah, it's just, you know, those pileups are very easy to occur. Once one car hits, it's just kind of a line one after another. So thinking of our folks up there, and and we have a live look in Michigan, says Sam. He's our producer back there. Well, doesn't that look pretty? Somebody still has their Christmas wreath up. I don't hate it. I mean, it looks like Christmas up there. It is January 16th. But hey, I mean, if the snow's still falling, keep the wreath up. I'm all about it. So nice little turn. We're going to see the town. Looks like everybody is kind of hunkering down and not coming out of their house, and I don't blame them. Oh, and we have Gatlinburg. Okay, let's take a look at that too. Oh, wow, that is gorgeous. Over in Tennessee, just look at those high clouds. Little shake of the camera, so windy out there too. Now, I love when I see blue sky high above because that means we have drier air. A little bit of moisture that has been rising from the surface, hence those lower level clouds. But man, those pretty blue skies, always gorgeous to see. I have some family out in Colorado and New Mexico, and man, I love going out there and just seeing that crisp blue air, those beautiful skies, and just breathe it in. You know, you can just picture yourself there. All right, so nice and quiet over there in Tennessee. And Sam, if we have time, I think we have a story, a package from Antarctica. Now, scientists are using a new method to preserve some glaciers in Antarctica. Pretty cool stuff. So let's take a look. We have a package for that.
Glaciers around the world are melting faster than ever, taking centuries of climate history with them.
We are melting those archives. We are losing an important resource, which is water, but we are also losing our memory.
So scientists are drilling deep to preserve the past, pulling out ice cores from glaciers, packed with clues about our climate. Layers that tell stories of temperature, snowfall, and even volcanic activity.
I just follow you.
Okay? This week, researchers sealed the first frozen treasures inside a newly built ice sanctuary in Antarctica. A snow cave carved deep underground at a frigid minus 61 degrees, cold enough to preserve them for centuries for future scientists.
Imagine a researcher from Asia in the year 2090 who has discovered a substance that serves as a new and precise indicator for monsoon activity. She could measure this in an ice core and look back in time.
Researchers hope the vault will one day hold ice from glaciers across the world, from the Andes to the Himalayas, before they vanish completely.
We plan to retrieve the ice and store it in Antarctica for the future generation of scientists.
A frozen library of the Earth's past, waiting for future scientists to unlock its lessons. Tina Kraus, CBS News, London.
Wow, very fascinating. All right, so when we come back, we're going to take a brief little break, and then we're going to be talking about, right now the map looks blank, but that's because I didn't play it out. Where could we see some snow across the southeast?
I was involved in a very bad car accident. Called attorney Dan Newland, and it was like 1, 2, 3. Dan really got it done for me. At the end of my case, he got me $525,000.
As one of the largest personal injury law firms in the United States, my team and I remain committed more than ever to win big on your case. Involved in a car accident? Let's get started. Call me at 813-888-8000.
Thank you, Dan, for winning my case.
This autumn, give your home the upgrade it deserves. Save up to 20% during California Closet's Autumn Upgrade event, making it easier than ever to transform your space with our select finishes. Whether it's a walk-in closet, home office, pantry, or garage, our designs are about more than organization. They're about creating space for what belongs. We call it practical magic, expert design that feels effortless. Visit one of our 3 Tampa Bay showrooms or schedule your complimentary consultation today at CaliforniaClosetsTampaBay.com.
Windows are created and installed with different levels of quality. Unique quality that can withstand the tropical climate. Our installers only install PGT custom windows and doors, so we are the go-to experts. Don't take my word for it. We have been named Best of Tampa Bay 3 years in a row, Reader's Choice in Sarasota 3 years in a row, and nationally recognized as Window and Door Dealer of the Year. Price is what you pay, but value is what you get. Give WeatherTight Windows a call today, and don't forget the cookies.
With a fresh new look and over 60 years of keeping Floridians comfortable, Cool Today is the name to trust for fast same-day service. Cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Our friendly expert technicians take the hassle out of home repair today. And Cool Today is here for you tomorrow, too. That's why we're introducing a parts and labor warranty on select AC systems for a lifetime. For cooling, plumbing, or electrical service, get the best from today and for years to come. Cool Today.
All right, well, welcome back. So, snowfall forecast. Of course, we're going to see some snow across the northern sections. That low pressure system I just showed you a minute ago over by the Great Lakes will produce more snow for those folks up north. But what's this? What's this? Yeah, one of the models, a couple of the models have been kind of hinting around at seeing maybe a little dusting. If we did see it in Florida, hey, we had this last year, right? Tallahassee, Panama City, would it make it down to the ground? It's possible, but it would be very hard to come by. Most of this, if we do get any, would be up southeast Georgia. So our friends over in Jacksonville, they cover that area, so I'm sure they will be talking about it. And don't forget, the weekend, we sometimes tune in with our Jacksonville station to give a little outlook on weather out their way, and of course they cover portions of Georgia too. All right, back here at home, we have more cold. Yeah, it's coming Monday. So actually Sunday, we have a little bit of rain, went over that, not a ton of it, Saturday night into Sunday morning. And then Monday, we have that cold snap that will be on the way. Not quite as cold as it was this morning, but also not much better. So we have that weather impact alert from 4 a.m. to 9 a.m. Those, of course, are the coldest hours of the morning. However, I would take advantage if somebody needs to go to a warming shelter. Go ahead and do that Sunday night, and don't leave your pets outside Sunday night. The impact would be the freezing temperatures, also some wind chills. The winds are going to pick back up for Sunday into Monday following that front. And then what you need to do, just bundle up. Let's talk about the long-range temperature trend. And we'll also see this in the 7-day, but sometimes this is a little bit easier to see. You can see that dip in temperatures Sunday, rain arrives Monday, Tuesday, and then into next week, that's when temperatures do start to improve and go back to how they should feel. That's the afternoons. In the morning, again, Monday morning for Tampa will likely be in the upper 30s. So similar to how we felt today, but some of those locations that were in the 20s, they will likely be in the 30s. And I mean, we're just talking a couple degrees of a difference. And then on your 7-day forecast here, just breaking everything down. So again, tomorrow we have nice improvements. It will be a chilly start, starting off in the 40s. Moving into the afternoon, we're close to average at 72. Sunday, we have a milder morning, but in the afternoon, we have temperatures that will be cooling down thanks to that rain. Not going to be a washout, but if you have any plans Sunday, just be aware that there will be a few showers in the area.